Hi, it's Jody. Please like and subscribe or do what you do. It costs nothing. If you like my content, you can do a paid and you can ask a question and you'll get a individual answer. Okay, so today we're going to talk about enabling. I used to run a group. Well, I ran many groups. But one of the groups that I used to talk about is enabling. Okay. And I used to hand out, you know, a handout. And what the handout said was it was a man and he was walking along and he saw a cocoon on the floor and it was struggling. And he thought it would be a good deed to help the butterfly escape the cocoon. So he opened it up, or he made a little cut in it, and he thought he did a good deed, and he patted himself on the back. Okay, so he went about his business, and when he returned, he saw the butterfly was dead. So why was the butterfly dead? Well, what he didn't know is in order for a butterfly to fly, it has to struggle. Okay. It has to, because that's how it gets its muscles. And by him doing what he did, thinking he did a good job, um, he wound up killing the butterfly thinking he did a good deed. Um, so, I mean, that was a handout that I gave to clients. Um, Moving on, how this, pertains to the real world. I see it all the time. Um, People enable other people constantly. In other words, so I'll tell a short, well, hopefully a short story. I had a friend and we were in a bowling league together, and he was like 50 and he lived with his mom and dad, and they were like, I don't know, in their 70s or 80s. And I kept telling him, listen, you need to grow up. You need to gain some coping skills. You need to um, learn how to live. And so he blew me off because he didn't, I don't know, take my advice. Okay, so I moved to Florida from New York. This was in New York. I moved to Florida. Don't ask. I don't know why. But I do know why, but I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, so all of a sudden I get a call, and it is the guy who lived with his parents, and he said, my mom died. And I felt bad. I mean, I didn't want his mom to die. And he was devastated because he would, what his thing was is he would transport his mom and dad to the doctors, and that was his payback for living in their home at 50 years old. And when his mom died, he was devastated. So, okay, fast forward. Uh, then, I don't know, a month later, maybe 2 months later, I don't know, shortly after, um, he called me again. He said his father died. I'm guessing his father died because his mom died and he couldn't live without her. Okay, so he um, didn't know what to do. He had no job. He had he had nothing. And the house was split by his like five brothers and sisters, and they took over because they had power of attorney. He didn't. And what wound up happening was um, they said, okay, well, we'll give you an apartment and we'll, pay for your rent. And he was, again, devastated. Um, Moral of the story, because it's a long story. Moral of the story is he had no coping skills. He had no way to fund for himself. He had no way to uh, cope because he had been enabled by his parents his whole life. And so now they're gone, and the brothers and sisters basically kicked him out, and he was lost. So, not good. Okay. Another story. Um, I had a client who um, he was told he wasn't allowed to leave the property, and he didn't like that. All right, I get it. He didn't like it. However, um, he did anyway. And so I called his mom and I said, "Hey, mom, you're not helping. Well, he wants to leave. He wants to go to lunch. He wants to shop. He wants to whatever." Okay. So fast forward. Um, Long story short, I know this is long, but it's important. Um, what happened was, he listened to his mom. He manipulated his mom, uh, and she didn't listen to me. And what wound up happening was she passed away, and he was devastated, and he had no coping skills. Okay, so enabling basically is something that you think you're helping, but you're not. You're not. You're just enabling the person to not know how to live life. Okay. So picture a mom who does your laundry. Picture a mom who covers up all your uh, things that um, you shouldn't do. Picture a mom that um, does everything for you. You don't learn. You don't learn. You don't learn. And so enabling is something that could kill because you don't know how to live life. You have no coping skills. You have no life skills. You have nothing. And then you're left eventually all alone. And you're devastated because you don't know what to do. Anyway, there's more to it, but again, it's going on 10 minutes. So, um, that's what enabling does. It just kills. Anyway, thank you. Bye.